Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today's slightly different location for the chat, but let's just get into it. No better time than the present for a bath, right? This is near the Thanksgiving holiday. Not sure exactly when I'll drop this video, but today I wanted to talk about just a general topic of thankfulness, and let's just get into it. I don't know. I generally thinking and speaking like I think we just gloss over certain words, and like thanks to me is one of them. And I think like thanks kind of comes in a couple of different categories, right? You have like kind of like a general politeness thanks. You know what I'm saying? Like you might say thank you for somebody opening the door, or like no thank you if you don't want something, or just a very like casual, this is something that we just do just for optics and it's just polite. But I think there's another kind of thanks which is deeper than that, right? It's like an actual like thanks or actual gratitude in that space that you actually are like appreciative of it, and just thinking of more synonyms like there's gratefulness, there's appreciation and thanks. And you can say you're blessed to have the situation, so just looking for synonyms in that space. But that second level of thankfulness to me is an action. It's more than just a, oh, thank you for holding the door open for me, right? And I think we can parallel this to also love, right? When people say I love you, like love means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But I also feel like in some spaces that requires action, right? And so as we're near or in or past this Thanksgiving holiday, um, I just want us to think about why are you thankful, and more in terms of why, how are you thankful, right? Thankfulness to me is more than just lip service. Once it crosses that threshold of really meaning thanks, it requires an action, right? It requires something to be done. Writing a thank you note, giving a thank you present, really acknowledging, even in a simple thing, if you're really appreciative and you thank someone, you might embrace them. You know what I'm saying? Give them a really big hug. But how do you express your thankfulness? How do you express your gratitude? It is more than just words, you know? And as we're being thankful here, and of course I always spin this into like a greater global issue in politics, are like, are we thankful for where we live? I don't think that people have perspective on lots of things. And I think my faith grounds me in that. One of the things I struggled with my faith for a while when I was younger was, the notion of like being thankful if I'm actually thankful. Like if I, praise God, thank God all the time, but it's like, what if I'm not feeling good? What if I feel like some of the things are down for me? You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I want is not being accomplished. Like how can I be thankful in a situation where I don't really think things are going for me? But I really believe that like in those moments, we have to look at things in a much larger global context. Because you could be less thankful, right? You could have things, we take things for granted. And I feel like we need to be more thankful because there are many things that we just take for granted that if they're taken away, then I feel like we'll have a greater appreciation. But we don't want that, right? We don't want to have to suffer in order to realize that there's something that we should have appreciated and greater and show thanks and put our thanks in action and put that action into works. And what I have to say in terms of like the larger issue is, I don't think many of us are thankful for democracy. I don't think many of us are thankful for the right to vote. I don't think many of us are thankful for some of the mechanisms and checks and balances in our government. It was much different. It could be much different, especially for people that look like me in America. Black people need to be thankful for where we're at, and not only thankful. And who are we thankful to? We're thankful to our ancestors that worked. You know what I'm saying? How are we showing our thankfulness and our gratitude towards all those things and people that allowed us to be able to take for granted what we do today? How are you showing that through action and in your works? And when you're not truly thankful, that's when shit gets murky. And I feel like this election cycle where we have Trump now, I think we're going to realize that we should have been thankful for a lot of things. But in closing, a short video today, I just want you to think about where in your life that you could be more thankful about and how you can show that. How you can show your thanks through actions, be it through people, be it through civic engagement, be it through religious engagement. How can you show your thanks and appreciation for where you're at in life? And relative to so many more people, there are people that aren't eating. There's people whose family isn't with them. There are people who don't have any jobs. There are people who've lost hope. There are people who have never had love. There are people who are just lost and depressed and are like one day away from taking their own life. So we need to show our thanks and show our appreciation so that we can actually like be a better light and be what we want to bring to the world, which is more gratitude and more thanks, right? And I'm thankful for y'all. Until next time, I'm enjoying this day.